Salesforce, the unseemingly unstoppable CRM supergiant, is now 26 years old. It has transcended from its humble beginnings at the birth of SaaS, broken into the mobile market, lost co-CEO, acquired its way up, and now has placed itself at the heart of our latest technological revolution, artificial intelligence. Leonard Sweet, American theologian, famously said, "Stagnation is death. If you don't change, you die." And for Salesforce, this has always been true, especially now. But when you're facing a community that is both bigger and more critical than ever, you're suddenly faced with a dilemma. How do you continue to beat stagnation and keep your community happy? For many, Salesforce is exactly what it appears to be on the surface, a software solution. However, for hundreds and thousands of Trailblazers, Salesforce's dedicated community, it is much more than that. Community focus has been an important part of Salesforce's owner since its inception, with CEO Mark Benioff preaching Hawaii's Ohana messaging for his company for years. The picture appears seemingly clear to anyone looking in. A big part of Salesforce's success comes from its community's continued unwavering support. However, rising tensions in the ecosystem have been building over the last couple of years, with concerns that the CRM giant was beginning to forget or even neglect the community and what it was asking for. Salesforce's relentless push for Agentforce, its all-encompassing artificial intelligence solution, had become too much. Although an impressive product, with many ecosystem members genuinely excited about what it could do, it quickly became the topic of every event, update, release, webinar, earnings call, and more. Over the course of less than a year, it was no longer a case of when you would hear about Agentforce, it's when you wouldn't. For an ecosystem full of partners, ISVs, end users, and freelancers at varying stages of org health, Agentforce was not a viable solution to many. Because for Agentforce to work efficiently, it all starts with your data. And if that isn't clean, organized, and ready to go, Agentforce will not give you the results that you want. Alternative AI solutions for businesses have only recently emerged a year after Agentforce's release, previously making it seem like it was really Agentforce or bust. If we don't go all in, we'll go obsolete. These were the words of Salesforce's co-founder, Parker Harris, during this year's True to the Core session at Dreamforce. Alan Weisman, a Salesforce architect, had asked Harris what events like Dreamforce, as well as others, had to show for other Salesforce tools and products. Weisman's words were nothing new. The community in Salesforce had been hearing echoes of the same sentiments ever since Agentforce began gaining traction. And even for a company that is insistent that Agentforce is its #1 priority, questions over how much it could be pushed had become impossible to ignore. "We just have to," Parker Harris answered. "AI is so complex and demands so much investment. If we don't go all in, we'll be obsolete." What makes Harris's answer so pertinent is that, although for some this is likely hard to hear, it is nothing short of the truth. The current AI race is a cutthroat one, and Salesforce finds itself up against some of the meanest, hungriest dogs in the game. OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and even ServiceNow, all companies poised and fighting to deliver the strongest, fastest, and most intelligent AI tools to a market that may not be ready for them yet. Even though Salesforce has partnerships with a number of companies in the running, the competition to create the AI toolkit of choice for customers remains as brutal as ever. Parker Harris's response to the big Agentforce question was interesting in and of itself. But what stood out for many was actually a statement of admittance. The admittance of acknowledging that Salesforce had lost its way recently in regard to the community, Agentforce, and more. They spoke about how Salesforce had experienced budget cuts and had to ruthlessly reprioritize, meaning that community groups and efforts had suffered. However, investment had been pumped back into things like Salesforce Military and the new well-architected program, signaling that Salesforce wanted to do the right thing. Amongst the sea of polished, PR-perfect replies and statements, Harris's words almost felt like a breath of fresh air. Almost. Salesforce, one of many tech companies with growing year-on-year profits, had experienced budget cuts, and the perceived low-hanging fruit had to be cut. A tech landscape that was thundering full steam ahead with AI, pressure from investors, and likely a whole number of hidden factors had urged Salesforce to perceive the most viable path forward. In its simplest form, profit remained the focus. But does this make Salesforce's decisions right? At a surface level, this situation seems clear-cut. Without a focus on profit, Salesforce risks regression and losing Wall Street's trust. Without Salesforce, there is no Salesforce community. Parker Harris's words are a stark reminder of this, and it does highlight some of the work the company has done to put focus back on the community in spite of this. However, with the Agentforce situation, there are still two distinct sides. Is the onus now on the community to buckle up and prepare for Agentforce however they choose to do that? Or does Salesforce still have a responsibility to shift some focus back to the core functionality whilst helping its customers get to grips with Agentforce at their own pace? Agentforce and AI are not going away. Dreamforce only solidified this. If there was any uncertainty before this, the picture is now crystal clear. It is not a matter of if your business gets on board with AI, it's a matter of when. As DevOps evangelist Jack McCurdy put it, the way forward is diverged into two paths of responsibility. One for the community to take the time to become AI literate, and the other for Salesforce to now focus on the how rather than the why. He shared that a lot of value would come out of Salesforce sharing its own experiences with building with Agentforce, including the struggles it faced, allowing Salesforce to connect with its community and share relevant, real-life advice. The community values transparency, honesty, and guidance. If Salesforce wants its community on board, then this would be a great way forward. Salesforce's AI solutions like Agentforce have sparked a debate, but the company's dedicated community wants to be involved in its future. As a for-profit company, Salesforce must balance appeasing its community with staying competitive in the global AI race, especially as its success depends on community support. But what do you think? Are you tired of hearing about Agentforce, or do you think it's necessary? Let us know in the comments below.